Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at the new May 2025 issue of White Dwarf magazine, issue 512. As you can see, it's got some lovely artwork of Mortarion in demon form from 40k. It's probably one of the best looking models in 40k, my personal opinion. It's absolutely stunning. So, embraced by Eurgh. This issue is going to go over demons, Grey Knights and Death Guard. Cool, it's a time of chaos at the moment, as they keep saying. So, Great Unclean One in Planet Warhammer. It's quite cool, they've used a toy and paint it up to go with a Lehman Rust to fit into 40k. That's quite smart. Blade Guards, Celestial Spear, Scrimble, Orc Stompers, Notes of the Plague God, bit from Black Library, little story about Eurgh. To have a read of that shortly. Gloeming Blades, Combat Patrol for Death Guard with allied Eurgh demons. It actually looks like the Age of Sigma Eurgh spearhead. It's quite cool how they mixed the two together. So the Gloeming Blades, what does it say? So the abilities: while an enemy unit is within contagion range of one or more Death Guard or Plague Legions models from your army, is afflicted. See below. While an enemy unit is afflicted, worsen the move, leadership and objective control characteristics of models in that unit by 1. This rule can only worsen the model's objective control characteristics to a minimum of 1. So that's basically taken from the codex. That's quite cool. And then we have an enchantment for your Plague Surgeon. Here's your Warlord, and you can either have Nullslop or FLIP-THRU. So Nullslop is improved strength and armor penetration and damage characteristics of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 1. So he makes him punch up a little bit. FLIP-THRU, once per battle in the reinforcement step of your movement phase, if the bearer is on the battlefield, you can add 1 Nurglin's unit containing 3 models to your army in reserves. If you do, until the end of battle, when setting that unit up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, it must be set up wholly within your army's containment range. It's quite cool as well. Secondary objectives. So we have Wellspring of Foulness. From the second battle round onwards, at the end of your opponent's turn, you score 1 victory point for each objective marker within your opponent army's containment range, to a maximum of 3 victory points per turn. That's quite good because obviously your containment range, you don't actually have to get onto the objective marker. As the battles goes on, you could be further and further away, so that's quite cool. And then the second one is Legacy of Lamentation. At the end of your turn, you score 2 victory points if 2 or more units from your army, excluding battle shock units, are each within a different one of the following areas: your deployment zone, no man's land, your opponent's deployment zone. If one of those units is with your opponent's deployment zone, you score 3 VP instead. You cannot score more than 12 VP from this secondary objective. And then stratagems: Fever Glow, your shooting phase or the fight phase. 1 Death Guard or Plague Legions unit from your army has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase effect. until the end of phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, re-roll the hit roll of 1. If the target is a monster or vehicle unit, you can re-roll the hit roll instead. That's for 1 CP. Then we have Strength from Dread. When the fight phase, target 1 plague bearers or plague drones unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Effect until the end of phase, improve strength and armor penetration characteristics of the melee weapons equipped by the model in your unit by 1. And that's 1 TP. And then Gloeming Contagion. When your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit excluding monsters and vehicles is selected to fall back, target 1 Death Guard or Plague Legions unit from your army that is within engagement range of that enemy unit. Effect: when that enemy unit falls back, all models in that enemy unit must take a desperate escape test. When doing so, if that enemy unit is battle shocked, subtract 1 of each of those tests, and that's also 1 CP. So we go on to the data sheets. Aspect of War, Blighted Battlefields. Heralds of Nurgle. Nurgle do have some lovely models, like Death Guard. So many bits and pieces to paint on them and details. The Blighted Swarm by Steve. Age of Sigmar. I do like how they have the colour combinations of how they painted it. Give you inspiration. Have some Chaos Knights done as Nurgle. They're really, really nice. I love Knights. It's my main army at the moment. That and Death Guard. Third Vectoring of Mortarians, Anvil by Doug. Heralds of Nurgle. It's a bit different with the pinks and purples and blues on Mortarion and on the wings. The Cohort. Vexcart by Alexander. The Blessed Grandsons of Dominic. Pallid Hand that's what I've actually painted my Death Guard in. From the Horus Heresy. I think it's the second detachment. Weeping Legion by Jim. The new codex when you can put out 150 Poxwalkers. Gonna have to see how that plays out. Unfortunately, I've only got about 56, so that would be a lot of Poxwalkers to paint if I went down that route. Another Chaos Knight. It's a cool new tentacle instead of the robotic one. Really cool for the Nurgle. And taking the bell. That's obviously from the Lord of Contagion. Will come in Dark Imperium. Kit Bash Corner. And Hobby Hangout and some hobby hacks. Painted Rust and Grime. On a Playburst Crawler. If you're going to do Rust and Grime, what better to do it on than Death Guard. Crumbly Rust, Oily Metal, Copper Oxide, Verdigris. The Grey Knights. Well, they should be coming out soon, shouldn't they? And this will be the year of Chaos and all the demons. Don't know what's going to happen with Chaos Slice. They've made the Demons Codex saying they're not going to update it and it's going to be free online. I wonder if they'll do the same with Grey Knights, because you don't get Grey Knights without demons. Portraits of War. Cadia Stands. Eshigan from Necromunda. Black Templars. Stormcast Eternals. Looks a bit like Space Wolves type thing. Minskalisk, Gardens of Nurgle, Harbouring of Decay. And we go on to the Age of Sigma, Battle of Fort Dakbad. A bit of a story. We claimed the fort. Heavy metal brush tips. Right King and Right Lord on skeletal steeds. Death Rattle skeletons. So they've got all the colour parts as well on this and telling you how to do it step by step. It's really cool. Zombie dragons. What a cool fort. Zombies and dragons all roll into one. Warhammer Underworld glory points. Never played Underworld. I think there'll be some cool war bands to actually sit and paint because you haven't got to do a whole army. Basic training, that's quite cool. Shows you how to play the game. Fundamentals. Words of the Rohirrim. Middle Earth. We're painting details again. Reminds me of the old Citadel painting guides, books, Sons of Sanguinius and stuff. Black Library. Access granted. White Dwarf bunker. Kill Team League for the studio. Eurgh, Night Lords, Space Marines, Satellite Uplink, this purple tower quite smart. So with these, so Gallippox but kit bashed, so they're slightly different. Wood elves look like harlequins. So the white dwarf team playing Bunker Bingo and the cards. Cool. If you like and subscribe, get to be able to see more of these videos and follow me on my journey painting. So see you all next time.